All right, everybody. Hello, welcome. It is Tuesday, February 10th. I hope you're staying warm, staying dry, wherever you may be on this planet, or maybe you're south of the equator and enjoying a nice warm summer. You are here for how to build AI skills for your career with vibe coding in 2026. My name is Albert. I am the host of this webinar today. I'm the founder of Albert's List, and we believe in helping you become the most resilient career professional that you can possibly be through AI job search and side hustle skills, and sometimes a combination of two or three of those. And as you know, this is an AI webinar today. We're here to talk to you about AI and how vibe coding has really taken the world by storm over the past year. I'm a Replit user. I dabble in ChatGPT, Gemini, all these things to build my business, to work by day. But you know what? There are people who do it at a much more extensive and a more amazing level than I do. And I'm proud and happy to introduce to you, to all of you, to Scott Simson today, who's the founder of AI Marketing World and leading event and education platform focused on practical AI adoption for marketers, operators, and builders. I've had the opportunity to know Scott for many years now, and I see that he works at the intersection of AI marketing, product experimentation, and helping professionals understand how to apply emerging tools without getting lost in hype or unnecessary complexity. His work emphasizes real world use cases, how AI actually gets implemented in all aspects of your business, and he's known for translating that into accessible frameworks that non technical users can understand to build, test, and ship ideas quickly. He's been featured in the news, and he's also got a major YouTube agency that he runs as well, where he's gained, I think, something like 400 million followers, a billion views. It's all really awesome. And so, Scott, I'm going to hand it over to you, and everybody I think here is going to get a treat today. So, thank you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate being here, and I love talking to anybody who's interested in AI, social media, all of the above. I've been very fortunate in my career. I actually didn't start that way. You know, obviously, anytime you're an entrepreneur, you have a series of failures before you ever really have any success. And if you start with success, you generally have a pretty big failure at some point in your life because God likes to humble you that way. But I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, and one of the biggest things that I've realized in my entrepreneurial journey is that there's a lot of these like very technical skills that I just don't have. I have big picture vision, and I have the ability to take little bits and pieces from all the things that I've learned and put them together into business concepts, and they've helped me. All of these little skills I've collected along the way, like website design and graphic design and marketing, has all benefited my business. But there's always been kind of like that one little piece that's been missing. And that piece is that like technical like computing, software development, that piece. Now I've coded back in the day. I used to use Dreamweaver to code HTML websites, but I didn't actually like write it out. I just used the program to help me figure out what goes where, and how to put things together so that that way I can make an aesthetically pleasing looking website. But until now, up until now, I have lacked the ability of actually like coding anything. And what's awesome about 2020, really 2025 and moving forward, is that we have the ability to talk to artificial intelligence and have AI create things for us, writing all of the code, putting all of the automations together, all of the sequencing, all of the aesthetics into one very beautifully packaged app, SaaS tool, website, whatever you want to develop. You can pretty much use one of these vibe coding softwares to put it together now, and it's been super beneficial for my company, for my clients. We use it for lead magnet development. So rather than giving somebody an ebook, now we can make them an app in a couple of hours that tracks their caloric intake, or that tracks their receipts. They can take a picture of the receipt and have all of the data collected, stored, tracked, calculated. And there's just so much opportunity now that the coding the development side of things has kind of opened up to the layman. Now, I know there's some developers in here. I saw some of you guys in the chat, and um and sorry, I'm just reading through the comments here, just making sure. Is there an echo? Anybody else hearing the echo? If you don't hear an echo, then say no echo. If you hear an echo, say echo. Um, I know there's some develop. Okay, perfect. I know that there are some developers that are here in the group, and I'm not here to diminish any of the work that you're doing. In fact, there's a lot of opportunity for you now that you can start to deploy agents and use AI to move faster. You're actually a step ahead of a lot of people. Now, on the flip side, if you're more of a visionary mindset, you've got some the ability to put things together and solve problems in a very simple way, you also have advantages. So it's kind of this cool, what the singularity moment between the visionaries, the techies, the analysts. Like it's such a cool moment to be alive. And so I'm very excited to be able to teach you guys and share some of the things that I've been doing in my work, and with our agency and with our conference. So before I really jump into my slide deck, I just want to show you guys. Up, up, up. Boom, there we go. So this is our conference. It's called AI Marketing Worlds, October 21st through 24th. This will be our second year. Now I've done conferences for years. We changed it to AI Marketing World last year because the writing is on the wall. Everybody needs AI. Last year we had robots. This year we'll have robots. Elite level speakers. This is the one of the founders of Go High Level. Anyway, if you want a good conference to go to in October, highly recommend you come on out to AI Marketing World because we've got the top speakers in the world speaking about AI and how to incorporate them into your business, into your work. All right, another thing, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, it's Scott Simson, no P. So Simson. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect and shoot over a message. I'd love to engage with you there. All right, so just a little bit of background on me. As I said, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. From the time I was a little kid selling pogs at elementary school. If any of you guys were 80s kids, 90s kids, you know what pogs are. Uh, I sold pogs in elementary school, baseball cards, sticks of gum, candy bars all through school. In high school, fake IDs. That's a story we don't want to share. I don't want to get too incriminatory on myself. Uh, and then as I got married, my wife and I started e-commerce businesses, website design businesses, just you name it. And we've probably tried real estate, insurance, financial services, everything. Well, in 2014, we decided to start a YouTube channel. And my wife and I had written a couple of books, and I was traveling and talking about the principles of these books. And my wife got pregnant in 2014. She's like, I need you home. And I was like, okay, uh, how do we take the things that I'm doing out in the wild and share them online? Well, YouTube. So we started making YouTube videos, and slowly but surely, my YouTube channel grew and grew and grew up to hundreds of thousands of followers, hundreds of millions of views, and we became full-time YouTubers. Well, in 2019, the algorithm shifted on YouTube, and all of the income we were making from YouTube dropped by about 80% virtually overnight. And so we kind of found ourselves between a rock and a hard place. We had all of this knowledge, but we had to start over on YouTube if we really wanted to make something of ourselves. Now, we realized at that point that maybe starting over wasn't the path for us. And that's when I built my YouTube agency, which is called Graffiti Media. Now, as you guys have known, and this was in 2019, as you guys know, in November, I believe it was of 2022, was when ChatGPT came out. And up to that point, we'd been working for about 3 years in our agency, and we would hand do everything. All of the research we did by ourselves, all the script writing we do by ourselves, all of the analysis we would do by ourselves. And we were really good at it. When ChatGPT came out, it allowed us to be faster and better. And so we started we never laid anybody off or did anything like that. We were just able to get more done with the same amount of people, with the same amount of time. And this is the first kind of mental shift that you have to make in your head when it comes to AI. AI is not going to replace people. It will allow people to get more done faster if you're using it. It will replace you if you refuse to use it because you won't be as effective and efficient as the person who is using artificial intelligence to enhance what you're doing. So, first mental shift is that you don't need to be doing it because you're going to be replaced. You need to be doing it so that way you can be better at your work. You can get more done. You can enhance the skills that you already have. And trust me, I've got a presentation here. I'm gonna pull up some slides here in just a second. I just want to preface this with that. You you have so much opportunity. You've had so much opportunity up to this point. You have so much more opportunity now that these tools are at our fingertips. I think Sam Altman the other day he did an interview and he said the kids that are born right now uh, are have such an advantage over us, and they're not going to be able to imagine a day where AI didn't help serve them in some capacity. And believe me when I say this, within the next few years, we're going to see robotics making incredible, like leaping ahead light years in advancements, and we're going to have robots that are actually doing things for us as well. And you guys, if you have any questions, make sure that you leave them in the chat. I'm not going to get to them right now, but I will go back through and answer a lot of the questions at the end. Okay. So that way I'm not disrupting my flow. Got to get into that flow state, but I will come back and I make sure to answer them. And I will literally stay as long as you guys have questions. Now, here's the other thing. I'm not like I said, I'm not a coder. I'm not a programmer. And so I don't want you to confuse what I'm saying with somebody who is technically skilled that way. What I am really, really good at is taking these tools and making money with them. Taking tools, making money with them. Taking these tools, making myself more valuable. And that's why Albert and I have had so many conversations about this. And that's why I'm here talking to you guys about these things. I'm not here to teach you how to code. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to in order to get the most out of the tools that are at our disposal 24/7 now. Okay. With that said, let me jump into my slide deck. If I can find my slide deck, where did it go? Right here, right here. Now, here's another benefit of 2026. Notebook LM. Anybody in here use Notebook LM? If you use Notebook LM, I want to see a number one. Just comment number one in the comments. Oh no, I got to go back over here so I can see if we got any number ones. Where'd it go? Chats. Number one. There we go. There's some number ones. Yeah, Notebook LM is the best. Now, I give a lot of presentations all over the place. I've actually had seven. I've traveled to seven different locations in the last few months, talking about AI or YouTube, whatever. Every single place that I go, I build all my slide decks in Notebook LM now because talking about vibe coding, I can talk to ChatGPT or Claude and I could say, hey, these are my thoughts. These are the things that I want to teach. Can you help me organize this into a presentation format? Then I can take all of that information, pop it in a Notebook LM, and say, hit me with a slide deck. And these are the slide decks that it builds. Now, if you don't have the super expensive giant jumbo max model for a couple $100 a month, they still watermark it. But this is invaluable for me, who is super ADD, and I always procrastinate to the last second to build out my slide decks. It's amazing because you can dump everything in there, and then within a couple minutes, you got yourself a really pretty slide deck. So, tip number one: if you got to give a presentation, use Notebook LM. Very helpful. Okay, so we're going to be talking about vibe coding and building career leverage with vibe coding. So here's the old school versus new school. Old signal for success in career development, job titles, degrees, certifications. How many of you guys have been to LinkedIn and you can see those guys with all those designations. I took a picture the other day. I wish I would have saved it. I'm going to show you. This guy had like I swear he had like 10 different designations, and I was like, I have no idea what any of that means, but it's a little bit overkill. This is to the point where I'm like, this feels like he's overeducated for anything that I could possibly hire him for. The new signal is results orientation, right? It's results oriented. Skill expectations, proof of ability, output, right? How much can you output? How fast can you get things done? How many um how efficient are you at the tasks that you are being assigned? What's amazing at this is like I can get an entire job's like an entire day's worth of work done in a matter of, I mean, what used to be an entire day's worth of work done in a matter of minutes now, just using these large language models. Before, again, like I was saying earlier, if I wanted to write a script out in 2021, it would take me 2 to 3 hours to do the research, put things together, and then just start typing. Now I can go to Claude with Opus 4.6 and I can say, please do deep research on this subject and find me some tweets, find me some articles, find me some quotes, and weave them into a perfectly scripted, high retention script for YouTube, and it'll do it in about 3 minutes. That's the power of what we're able to do. That would generally, in that type of a script, that intense would probably take me 6 or 7 hours. Before I just did it, I said 6, 7. I promised my kids I wouldn't, and here we are. It generally take me 6 or 7 hours to get something like that done, and now it can take me minutes. So how quickly can you get things done? How efficient are you? AI experience is no longer a bonus, it's becoming a baseline. And again, if you don't use it, there's a good chance you could be replaced with somebody who is using it because they can just simply get more done. And I was trying to tell this to my wife, who is she's, bless her heart. I love her so much. She's incredible. But anytime something technical comes out, she resists. And with Facebook, it was hilarious. I wanted to get on it as soon as it came out, 2007, 2008. And she's like, no, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. And I just pulled the trigger one day and I'm like, I'm doing it. And then she resisted, push, push, push. And then, a year later, she gets on and she loves it. Well, she's been resisting AI for years. She hasn't used AI at all. And then a couple weeks ago, she's like, hey, can you help me plan our garden? We've got 5 acres. She wants to do like a lot of fruit trees and all sorts of things. And I was like, hey, why don't you just go to Gemini, have a conversation with it? We have the pro subscription. Just get in there and have a conversation with it. And she gets in and she starts and doesn't stop. For weeks now, she has been talking back and forth with Gemini, planning the garden. Gemini, Nano Banana sending her pictures. They're building diagrams together. And I'm just like, finally, finally, she has learned how to do it. It has become the new baseline again. And I had a conversation. So we have a community of vibe coders, and we were having a conversation with them today. We have calls once a month on second Tuesday of the month. We have a conversation with them today, and they were asking me what are what was the thing that came up? The question that they were asking was, um, why does it seem like we're so far ahead of everybody else in this group? And first of all, we have our own little echo chamber, and they're like, man, when everybody catches on, it's going to be crazy. And I'm like, well, it's been 3 years since ChatGPT came out, a little over 3 years, and there's only 800 million users every month, 800 million monthly users on ChatGPT or something along those lines, a billion people a month. That's 1/8 of the planet is on AI. That is a lot of people, but think about 8 more times that amount. Like that's the opportunity. That's how many people have yet to jump into AI and use large language models in any capacity. So there's a lot of opportunity. Okay. Big misunderstanding about AI skills. A lot of times, a lot of people are thinking, especially with like vibe coding. Vibe coding sounds like it sounds technical. It's not. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you a demonstration here in just a minute. It's very simple. So most people think AI skills mean learning to code, Python, JavaScript, studying large language model architecture. I'm laughing because it's funny. This is what I used to think too. Taking months of theoretical courses, waiting to feel ready. When in reality, real AI skills mean building useful things, solving broken workflows, shipping fast. Readiness is not a requirement. So we had a vibe coding workshop in Boise, Idaho in December. We had 40 people that were there. And one of the questions that came up was the whole intention was build and launch an MVP SaaS tool within 72 hours. That was the whole purpose of the workshop. You come here for 3 days, we're gonna help you build, release, like take it to market within 72 hours. And one of the questions came up, which was, what if I spend all this time on my tool and I take it to market and nobody buys it? And I was like, build another. It takes you hours to build something now. It's not like you spent 6 years building out the perfect tool. It's not like you built QuickBooks and it took you a decade to make it. You built a tool in 72 hours. Spend another 72 hours building. We have it's such an insane speed from idea to release that you are not limited by time anymore. Like you can move very, very fast because these models, these tools can get you exactly what you want very, very rapidly. So you don't necessarily have to be ready. You just have to start using the tools. You don't have to plan and prepare and spend weeks and weeks and weeks. Just go to AI, have a conversation, take that conversation, turn it into a tool. That's where we're at right now in 2026. That is the generation that we are in. It's insane. It's amazing. Okay, so let's break this down. What does vibe coding actually mean? Now it sounds technical, and I'm sure the tech guys in here, the people who are coders, you're laughing because you know it's not at all. You ready for this? Here's how it works. You describe what you want. AI handles it, does its magic, writes all code for you. You get a result. Pretty awesome, right? You come up with an idea. You don't even have to have a good idea. Here's what's cool. You can go to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and say, hey, I work in this industry. What are some of the common problems that people have in this industry? Or you could even say, here are some of the common problems that people have in this industry. What are some tool ideas that I can create to make my job more efficient or to help solve those problems? Those LLMs are now insanely good. They'll come back with you with a list of ideas. And you can take that idea to a vibe coding software. I'm going to show you my favorite one here in just a second. And you say, build me this, and it will be built. And it will be built. You'll have a mock-up, like a pretty pretty rudimentary tool within a few minutes. That's how simple it is. So that said, let me jump over here and I'll show you this. So um, my favorite vibe coding software is Replit. I know a lot of people use Lovable. We use Replit just simply because that's what we taught in our workshop, and it's very simple to use. It works just like an LLM, just like you're talking to ChatGPT, except it builds for you. So here was my, let's see here. Oh, it doesn't show me. Oh yeah, I want a simple. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here was my prompt. I want you to build a simple full stack app that can run on Replit. Think of it as the first, actually real fast. Can you guys see my
Can you
screen? I just want to make
put
sure.
that on your screen? I think we see your presentation right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
want to
just
see
wanted
you
to
work your
double check.
magic.
There we
There
go.
you go.
You guys see it?
There you go.
Perfect. Okay. So this was my original prompt. I want you to build a simple full stack app that I can run on Replit. Think of it like the first version of an iPhone style app that helps people figure out what to cook based on a photo of their fridge. High level idea, the user takes a picture of the inside of their fridge. The app analyzes what's in the photo, then suggests a few meal ideas with approximate calorie counts. Please build tech stack and structure. Use Node.js with Express for the backend service. So actually, what I did was I didn't type this. I went to ChatGPT and I said, make me a prompt for Replit. This is what I want for my app. Okay, so then ChatGPT wrote this. I wouldn't have known to use Node.js or Express for the backend. I wouldn't have known to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React. Wouldn't have known any of that stuff. I just wanted an app that did what I wanted it to do. So let me actually just go check so I can demo it for you. Um, photo of the oh my gosh, the inside of a fridge. Okay, let's just grab a photo of the inside of a fridge and I can just demo this for you. Okay, we'll grab this one. Save image. Oh, that might not work because it's a WEBP file. Maybe this one. Save image. Okay, got it. All right, so this is what Replit built. It took it about 5 minutes. Actually, let's see here. Okay, worked for 1 minute, worked for 37 seconds, worked for 27 seconds, 1 minute, 39 seconds. So yeah, so just a few minutes and it built this out. Okay, so now I'm gonna add a snapshot of a fridge. Okay, now it's got the snapshot of the fridge, just so that way you guys can see this. Now, if this were an app on an iPhone, you just open your camera up and it would take the picture for you. Okay, target calories. I want a meal that's got 800 calories. Analyze fridge. Boom. Okay, detected ingredients: eggs, spinach, cheddar cheese, Greek yogurt, spinach and cheddar omelet, Greek yogurt protein bowl, veggie scramble. That's vibe coding, everybody. My job is done. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. This is how simple it is. All right, now you can just say analyze another photo, right, and take another picture, and then as long as you're attached, and Replit will do all this stuff for you, but as long as you're attaching this to an API from Gemini or ChatGPT, it will process the photo, read the information, and then it will come up with a meal plan for you that's very, very low likelihood. You have some constraints in there, very low likelihood of hallucinations, and it will create a plan for you. This is how simple it is to create an app in 2026. Now, the reason that I'm a huge fan of SaaS tools, simple SaaS tools, is because for marketing, for businesses, is because um, if you get people using these tools frequently, then your branding is in front of them all the time. You could sell a subscription to this for even $1 or $2 a month. So that way it covers your API costs, maybe 50%, with 50% margins. And you get 10,000 people on this. And now you've got an extra $10,000 a month that's coming in just in monthly recurring revenue from people who are probably never turned it off because they won't even notice they're spending $2 a month on something this cheap. So this is a huge benefit for your business. It's a huge benefit for anything. Now, here's the other cool thing. And this makes you these types of things make you look like a hero. Uh, I let's see here. I can build websites in Replit and fully functioning dynamic websites. This one is loading. I'll just show you this real quick. And it's the same thing. You just talk to the AI and it will build what you want. So here's the website. And I mean, this is just a series of prompts. This one probably took me a few hours to build because there's a lot of dynamic elements to it. But everything, like even like this, it automatically takes me over to my YouTube videos. Oops, let me go back. Yeah, there it is. Um, Everything is dynamic. It's I have a booking link integrated with it. Um, all of these little all these little elements have been programmed into it. Here's my lead magnet that auto pops up things. Again, I don't even know that I don't know the technical terms of all this stuff. I just know I know how to talk to AI, and I'm going to use AI to get me a little bit further ahead. That's my entire mindset when it comes to AI is how can I use AI to make my life easier? How can I use AI to give my clients more value? How can I mean, you think about this from a business perspective. If you have a client that's paying you multiple thousands of dollars a month, and it benefits you to have a website or an app where you build out a report automated reporting uh, dashboard, like you can build that out now, and it will make your client more sticky because they'll be more happy because it'll look like you have better customer service. Again, like the sky's the limit with what you can build. All right, let me go back to my presentation. This one. All right. So again, all you got to do is describe what you want. Let AI do the let AI do its magic, and then the result. That's it. Okay. So here's why really why everybody has an advantage. I'm not saying just non-techie people, technical people have this advantage as well. But I mean, this is what makes 2026 so incredible is that if you are over the age of probably 35, you have built expertise in some area of your life, right? You've been working for the last 15, 20, 30 years in a specific niche, in a specific industry, in a specific job category, and you have built expertise. You know what the problems are that you have every day, that you encounter every day. You know what the problems are that your customers have. You know what the problems are probably that the C suite has. And this gives you an advantage because all that vibe coding is, uh um all that it takes to make yourself more valuable in the AI age is just understanding how to use AI to solve simple problems. That's all that it takes. You just have to learn how to solve problems. So the people who are out of the box thinkers, the people who are pushing themselves to learn problem solving skills, those are the people who have the biggest advantage. You know real problems, you hear what users complain about, you see the broken workflows, you know where time and money are wasted. If you know if you check these boxes right here, which I'm sure everybody does, I want to see ones. If you are an expert in one of these areas or you have C problems and you know how to solve those problems, put a one in the chat. What are the ones? Yes, you guys see it. Mm. All right. Yep. You all have this capability. That is the benefits. Okay. Let's talk about stacks, AI stacks. This comes up quite a bit. Now, I'm oversubscribed. I spend uh, probably a couple $1,000s a month in my AI tech stack. I'm embarrassed to say, but I use almost all of it. Even Suno. You guys heard of Suno, the songwriting app? I've actually used Suno to write custom theme songs for YouTube videos just to make them more catchy. So I use everything. I try everything and I use everything. But here's the triple decker that you need to have successful to have to be successful using AI. Just understand this: the reasoning models, the brain. These are like the large language models. Claude Opus 4.6 is the absolute best right now, in my opinion. I use it every day. It's very expensive because I burn through credits like crazy, or tokens like crazy. It's insane. Gemini is great for deep research, great for analysis. ChatGPT is actually one that's kind of fallen behind, in my opinion. I don't use it as frequently as I used to, but if you've got a good reasoning model, then you can make yourself very you can make yourself much more much more valuable because you can just get more done. You can think faster. You can get more of that, like the deep reasoning done faster. Okay. The interface builders. These are the things like Replit and Lovable. There's a number of other tools. Um, there's tools in the video creation space that are interface builders when it comes to actually like putting the thought process together in some type of a packaged uh some type of a what am I trying to say? Some type of a packaged output that is aesthetically appealing or is pleasant or is usable, right? So Replit lovable for apps and websites. Um, um, Nano Banana for images. Um, Sora, VO3 Sora 2 for videos, and then automation connectors, so like N8N and some of these other tools. One thing I will say is we're getting to the point where agentic AI is really starting to surface. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the Claude bot, Moltbots, OpenClaw thing that has come out. I've actually set one up right here. I've got a Mac Mini that's running an OpenClaw, and this thing is amazing. Within a couple of years, agents are going to be doing everything. I can go to my agent. I have it on Telegram on my phone, and I can say, "Hey, can you build me a website?" And it will legitimately just build a website. I've actually done it. Um, should I show you? I should show you. Should I show you guys want to see the website that my bot built? I just need one yes. One yes, and I'll show it. There it is. There's the one yes. Okay. All right. So here's the website that my bot built. Okay, it's called botblab.com, and it is a news site where bots like my bot can spill the tea on what their humans are putting them through. So human hid a purchase from their partner in a secret account. Human cried on the bathroom after a meeting, then sent sounds great Slack. Anyway, this is my bot is building all of this out and marketing it right now. And it is a I mean it's a beast. It is a beast. Very, very fascinating. But this is the power of agentic AI. This is what's coming. And even though this site looks a little bit janky, I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool that a freaking robot could do this. An agent could do this. I also have it running its own Twitter account. It makes its own posts. It sends emails for me, sends texts for me. It can do cold outreach to people if I ask it to. Right now, I usually use it for as a companion for my YouTube strategy, my personal brand strategy. So it writes me scripts and gets me photos and all sorts of things like that. That's what's coming down the pipeline, agentic AI. That's definitely something that I would take a look at. The other thing I'll say, I don't know if any of you guys saw the ad over the Super Bowl AI.com. If you haven't gotten a handle on AI.com, I would recommend it. The word on the street is that it's going to be a wrapper for agentic AI, and you'll probably want to secure a spot there, secure your name, brand, etc. I know there's a lot of people who are taking the brand names for like Coca-Cola, AI.com/Coca-Cola, AI.com/Kohl's, AI.com/Tesla. So there's some really unique opportunities over there right now. Biggest point that I want to make here is that you don't need to master everything. You just need one stack that can get you to that finish line. And typically that's a large language model and it's a builder, interface builder. Replit, lovable. Okay. Don't overthink this. The time that it takes to go from how are we doing on time? Oh, 15 minutes. Okay. The time that it takes to go from idea to something fully built is like this. You can have something done in a matter of hours. If you overthink things, then you're going to miss your window. So my advice is to jump in and just start creating things and see what sticks and iterate and break things and fix them. Okay, here's some. some of my recommendations for where to get started, building internal tools. Like, again, doesn't have to be flashy. Boring problems are totally fine. So, internal tools, reporting and data cleanup. These are just some like ideas. Lead handling, review systems, content workflows. Boring problems pay well. Boring problems pay well. And there's a lot of corporations that are out there that you, with your knowledge, if you're from corporate America, you, with your knowledge, can absolutely 100% benefit these corporations. Okay. Vibe coding build loop. Here we go. This is the most complex thing you guys are going to see all day. You have an idea, make a prompt. You go to ChatGPT, make a prompt, build a prototype with Replit. Okay. Then you go through testing, break it, refine it, ship it. All of this can be done in a matter of a couple of hours. All of it. You think about like how long it takes a company to build a like Grand Theft Auto or Fortnite or any of these things. Like a lot of these video games, a lot of these tools that have been built can be rebuilt in a matter of hours. And I don't want to say like GTA 6 can be rebuilt in a matter of hours, but what I'm meaning is like it's never been easier. It's never been easier to build this stuff. Okay? Your first version should feel slightly uncomfortable. Just build it and ship it. Build it and ship it. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Here's your internal checklist, right? This is what you need to be you do um you need to make sure you're checking these boxes. Does it solve one clear problem? Does it save time or money? Can someone else use it? Does it run without you? One of when we did our workshop in Idaho, our 72-hour workshop, the biggest problem that we ran into, believe it or not, was people who were thinking micro SaaS. They were thinking macro SaaS in terms of micro. So it was like they'd come up with an idea and then they just want to add 15 different things to it. And every time they would do that, it would make their idea complicated. An MVP is like that minimum viable product, right? What is the minimum amount that you could do that solves the problem that you can get to market as fast as possible? If you check the box of solving a problem that other people have and you can do it faster and it's simple for them to use, you've got an MVP. Just build it, just crank it out. Okay. Okay. What to do after you build. So, how do you leverage this to enhance your career? I mean, designations and trainings and certifications that used to be symbolic of you being more valuable because of the education that you have. But that's not necessarily the case anymore because if the education isn't applied, then it's really just potential. It's not it, it it's not guaranteed that that amount of education that you had is going to, from an employer standpoint, is going to mean that you're going to make them more money, which is at the end of the day, that's what an employer is looking for. They want employees who can run things, but also make sure that they're still increasing in value as a company. So you make yourself more valuable now by showing, you can make yourself more valuable now by showing that you're more valuable. And that's taking the knowledge that you've gained and applying it in ways that actually benefit the company. When I was in one of my very first jobs, I worked at a restaurant. And I'm always the type of guy who wants to leave a place better than I found it. Uh, and I remember going into this restaurant and the sink was kind of wobbling, falling off the wall. And there were some other things that were going on. And so I took part of my paycheck. I went over to Home Depot, which is a few doors down. I worked in a shopping center, and Home Depot was right next door. I went over to Home Depot, got some boards, got a screwdriver, and came back and I fixed the sink. Right. And I didn't really think about it at that point. I was just like, I just want to help. I just want to leave the place better than I found it. So I fixed the sink. caulked it, painted it, like did it all when my boss wasn't there. One morning, came in early, knocked it all out. And that's how I showed I was valuable. Now, that took me hours to do. Uh, you can show that you're valuable in minutes using artificial intelligence, using vibe coding. You can show that you're valuable. Go home. You got your 9 to 5, from 5 to 9. Code something, code a tool that is will solve a problem that will help your colleagues. That's how you can show that you're valuable now. Take that knowledge and apply it. Take those skills and apply them. You can do it very, very rapidly. Okay. All right. So it's funny. This slide came in here. I don't know what this slide was actually implying, other than as you're building, right? As you're building, if you as you're building tools, if you stall out, the momentum dies when you don't have feedback, when you don't have iteration. Oh, I know what this is for. This is to talk about our program. So this is, yeah, your your momentum dies when you don't have that feedback, when you don't have people who are pushing back, when you don't have voices that are pushing back and challenging you. You accelerate when you have community, when you've got constant iteration, when you've got that pressure, when you have people who are telling you or asking you questions, thinking about things that you're not necessarily thinking about as you're building, which leads me to, and I'm going to get to questions here in just a second, but which leads me to, and if I just want to make sure that this is all right with you guys, I want to just talk about our community for just a second. You guys cool with that? If you're cool with me talking about our community, just drop a 1 in the chat. I just want to show you what we're doing. Ones. There's the 1-1. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So we have a community. It's called AI Mavericks. And in this community, this is different from our 72-hour build out. That's something that we offer, probably be once a year after our event. But our community is an ongoing thing, where we've got a couple hundred people that are in this group. We're all iterating together. We're all building things together. We have trainings each month on the tools that we're using, on the tools that we're building. And so everybody who's in that group is kind of living and breathing artificial intelligence and building things that will benefit them. So we've got a lot of people who are in our community who are building things together right now. Here's what you get when you join, and I'll tell you the price point here in just a second. Actually, it may have been on that first page. It's not a lot, but you get a hack of the month. We have power hour calls. We're actually increasing this to 3 times a week. So, or sorry, 3 times a month. So that way, throughout the month, you'll have multiple opportunities to come, ask questions, dive into things. We've got a great community, and we've got a number of courses that are included in a membership of this community. The idea here to is to build a moat around yourself. I talk about this a lot in social media and in my presentations. AI is kind of the great equalizer. There are people who are using AI who are going to be way more advanced, and simply because they've got more at their fingertips, they can iterate faster, they can build things faster. And there's the people who aren't using AI or are using it in suboptimal ways, where it's just like, I go to ChatGPT when I have a question. Right? That's not really using AI. We're trying to help people build a moat around themselves by really understanding how to use AI to impact almost the entirety of their life. And I'm not talking about, like spirituality or anything like that. I'm talking about like, how can you make your life more efficient so that way you can get more done, you can be more valuable, you can be more present. All right. Our entire system to join is $59 a month. And you can do that at aihacks.io, or aimavericks.co. If you want to be a Maverick with us, this is the place to join. Okay. I hope that this presentation was illuminating. I hope that it was eye-opening for you guys. I hope that you got something out of it, and if you know just some motivation, like a kick in the rear to like, oh, I really ought to get going. That's I'm leaving you better than I found you. But I do want to take some questions. So please leave your questions in the Q&A. Yeah, let's leave them in the Q&A. Is that where I do it, Albert?
We had a lot of chats in the webinar
Okay.
chat too, or
Okay. I
questions.
see.
Somebody wants to know whether you could share the slide deck. The recording I will go ahead and share. But I guess we can start with the first Q&A, which is how did you get the integrations on your website using Vibe Code?
Yeah, so all that I did, so you get to the point in Replit. Let me stop sharing this. Um, and then I'll share the other one again. Okay, so when you're done with the site, let me just show you with one that hasn't been published. I'll go back to that daily logger. Okay, so when you're done, oh, well, maybe I did publish this. There's a publish button right here, and you click the publish button, and it'll take you through the process to connect your domain. You can actually I I've I pay monthly for Replit. I think it's $20 a month, and I just let Replit host all my sites because it's very simple. But there's a way for you to download code, install it somewhere else. I'm not technical. I'm just like, no, I'll pay the subscription and I'll have all my sites
And
hosted
if
through
you're willing
Replit.
to have ads served to you, I think you can get ChatGPT for $8 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah. But ChatGPT, I'm not a huge I would if I could give you my favorite is Claude, and for so many reasons, and it is an absolute game changer. So much better than ChatGPT. I highly recommend using Claude over ChatGPT now. Gemini is just kind of built into everything. If you've got a smartphone, and that Android phone, it's built into Android, and um, and then it's going to be built into iPhones. I think in maybe next year they're doing a big deal with Apple, so you're going to have Gemini in all basically every smartphone.
Hmm,
Okay.
amazing.
What else? Do you have them pulled up by chance, Albert? I just want to see here.
I'm just scrolling upwards. I think there were some context-based questions.
Okay.
What about security? Do you include anything about security or for best practices in your prompts?
Um, I don't. I probably should. Um, but
Have any of your students been hacked yet?
no, we're building kind of like so when we do our integrations, right? Our payment processing is through like Stripe, um, and we haven't had any issues with that. That's definitely something that I would yeah, I'd be curious about. I have a dev that we've built like macro SaaS tools with. And so anytime I have a question like that, I generally take it to a dev just to make sure that everything's locked in. When we do our 72-hour builds, we have devs that are there helping everybody make sure that the security is kind of on lock. But for my own personal websites, I haven't really worried too much about it just simply because I don't have um yeah, I don't they're pretty simple sites. Like I don't really feel like I need to have too much security on them.
Hmm.
I could be totally naive though, you guys. Again, I'm not a coder. So I'm a how to make money with AI guy.
Yeah, because the other one is how do you avoid prompt injection from hackers trying to wreck your project? So yeah. All right. If you work for other people,
Good
how do you
question.
effectively use AI without jeopardizing corporate secrets?
So yeah, that's a really good question. We when we're doing so I don't build tools for corporations. The only thing that I do is content strategy for corporations, and generally, if they're okay talking about something that goes on YouTube, they don't have any problems with it being on an LLM because I mean, when it's all said and done, everything that's on YouTube is owned by Google anyway. So we haven't run into any issues with corporations uh, corporations having an issue like talking about proprietary data that we're feeding to an LLM. That's just not the case for us. Now, that is something you need to be cognizant of as you're creating tools specifically to solve problems in your businesses. Just make sure that you're doing it in a broad enough way that you're not entering things in that can be, um, you know, stolen and used as data in an LLM.
Yeah, Ben writes, practical software engineer perspective. If the idea works and you get to 1,000+ users, hire an actual engineer to build it for you. So if you don't want scaling issues. All right.
That's good. Yeah, that's good
Yeah,
advice.
yeah,
These are for things that when I'm using vibe coding, again, I'm not, my intention isn't to build something that is going to take over my life or is going to need an entire development team to manage on the back end. My job, my goal is to simply make things either easier for me or easier for people around me or for a community of people around me. So, for example, I build a lot, and these are considered, micro SaaS, just simply because they help solve those problems in it's software. But I built a lot of custom GPTs that are just very simple. You have a problem, this custom GPT is going to get you a solution. And some of those have thousands and thousands of users and hits, but it's all built right into ChatGPT. And so I can sell access to it, but it's generally on the back end of a course that I've pay gated through, Go High Level or ClickFunnels or, some other software like that. But
yeah.
my goal is to build micro SaaS that that solve micro problems.
Do we need to pay for APIs for making LLM powered projects?
It depends on what you're trying to do with it. So I use APIs. Well, it also depends on how many tokens. Like there are some free APIs, you have so many tokens. I think like right now with like Gemini, you get $300 of free tokens. And I know that there are some others that you get so many searches or so many hits. But with my agent, I have APIs, the top tiers of Gemini, Claude, and ChatGPT, just so I make sure that it's flowing efficiently. But what this can do is worth an employee's salary to me. So for a few $100s a month, I get a top tier employee that's working for me as an agent.
No.
So you have to kind of like think about it in terms of uh, what's the ROI that you can get on the back end, and is it worth it to you?
Yeah. How did you integrate video on your website? Did you use an API?
No, no, I just said, here's a link. So I uploaded it to Vimeo and I said, here's the link. Can you make sure, hey, Replit, here's the link. Can you make sure that it shows up as a video?
I love
So yeah, I have an account with Vimeo though.
love it, love
And then
it.
it just did an embed.
All right, well, we're an hour in. If there's any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and drop Scott's LinkedIn again in here. And I've had this poll running the entire webinar. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. So we asked at the very beginning, how do you feel about your AI skills? We had 18 novices in the room. That's 20% of the people who ended up showing up here. 69% of you said somewhat experienced. 9% you've built things on AI. And we had 3% who said they were experts. So, yeah. Let me actually share that link out for AI hacks. AI hacks.io doesn't go anywhere.
Thank you. Oh, wait.
AI Mavericks. There we go. You got to have the HTTPS in front of it too,
Oh, the HTTP.
and the,
Yeah.
and the security on that too. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Thanks, Scott. By the way, great name. I saw a couple of Scots. Appreciate it. Yeah, feel free to connect with me, you guys. This is quickly becoming a passion of mine. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm just very good at figuring out how to do my job in easier ways. So I'd love to have conversations with anybody who wants to.
Yep. All right. Well,
Think of it.
I hope everybody learned a few things. We're going to have Scott back here next month again. I would say it was a rousing success having all of you here today. And so if you're inspired, sign up for AI Hacks. If you've got other things that you'd like to build, including a job search agent, we've actually got a workshop on that later this week. So, we're fully embedded into AI here. And we want to thank you for spending your time today once again on this webinar with us. And we've got plenty more on the calendar to keep your career experience topped out. So we look forward to seeing you soon. And so we wish you a wonderful night and go forth and make something. All right, talk to you
Real,
all
real
later.
quick.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, real. One more thing. Next week in our community, we're going to be teaching how to build your own agent. And so, if any of you guys are interested in that, it's a great time to get in. We've got a full training on that. So
And go buy yourself a Mac Mini too, I guess, while you're at it, right?
there you go. It's an excuse.
All right. See you later, everybody. Thank you all so much for your
Everybody.
time. Goodbye.
Bye.